Welcome in, everybody, to the Reap Smite League Killjoy alongside Sam Howell here today, bringing you guys the action tonight. Triple mids taking on the Bully Busters. Sam, it's going to be a good match.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great match. The triple mids are more of an early game team. You'll see a lot of pressure in like the mid and the jungle and the duo lane, especially. I think it's gonna be a good matchup.
It'll be a lot of fun. We're getting into picks and bans. Right now, we're going to jump right on in to see how these teams really want to elect at getting their drafts going and seeing if they can maybe find that early game that you were talking about.
Yeah, I think Magnetic. He's a really good jungler in the early game. He just finds ways to kill people and get ahead. So we're gonna see what happens.
Hopefully he gets a way to get ahead here in this game. Maybe we'll find him a good pick. Could potentially see a couple of those picks that have fallen out of favor, such as the Osiris or Gilgamesh. And those have had some nerfs. So I'll let you talk about those here in a second. Ardio Osai, first two off the bat. Thanatos team out right off the tail end of things. Thanatos is a different band, though. We've seen that prioritized by a couple other teams here in the RSL. And taking it off the board early is very interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of the Magnetic special, really. And of course, against a player like Eon, who was a soul laner last year, and now he's in the jungle, he really likes his tanky picks. And with the new tanky meta in jungle, you're going to see picks like Osiris band, Odin band, probably. That's Odin jungle's pretty good, not too bad. So
that pick hits. Now, finishing off the bans was Artemis alongside the Odin that you had mentioned. Did leave up a lot of the mid lane picks open. Persephone going to be our first pick here of the night. And I don't think you could ever go wrong with top picking Persephone.
No, she basically has, in theory, probably the best team fight in the game because you have ridiculous CC, and if you hit 2 or 3 people with it, they're going to have the beads you might lose the team fight. So
if you can get a 5-man desperate,
yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it. It gives me chills already. Cerberus, though, is the return here for the Bully Busters going over to the hands of Ares. We did see Cocky play this last time the Bully Busters play, who is their sub, so he'll be coming back in. Time Dollar locked in for bracking here. This is a pick that I knew was going to be contested coming into it.
Yeah, Son of Two Dog and Bracking both like the Heimdall, and it's probably this meta. I always love sets because there's always like a little meta with little characters. Last year in the finals, or actually in the semifinals when I played your team, we had a little meta with like Poseidon, and we kept doing that. And there might be a little meta with Heimdall. See who picks or bans it. So,
hey man, look, I love when Heimdall's meta. I think this guy is so much fun. He's super mechanically just insane too. You can really separate the pack between two good players and great players with Heimdall. So I'm excited to see how Bracken plays, and honestly, I'm excited to see how Two Dog plays it because I have a feeling he's gonna get it in this set at some point tonight. He looks like he's gonna go towards the Cupid though here, Sam, and then Sobek following up. But Cupid, that's a very weird pick, I would say, already in the top 3.
Yeah. So basically, Cupid's that kind of character where he wants to ult a tank or ult their jungler, and hopefully he kills them before they walk out of his ult or slow him unit. So, for example, as we look, he picked Fenrir, and that's kind of rough into Cupid because Cupid can just ult his feet, and Fenrir doesn't get to play the game. So,
thing I was going to ask you, be like, Fenrir top 3 seems odd to me. I don't hate it going to the bottom map, but again, it could also go to the support role, which I think could be a decent spot. Maybe handing it over to Loiter and letting Eon get something else later on in this draft. Gilgamesh still has not been banned out as we go into the second waves of the ban. He has seen some of his nerfs. His passive is getting stronger, getting nerfed every patch. I think he's in such a good spot right now.
Yeah, so I think the Fenrir here is going to kind of be wait till level 5, and hopefully I can ult a carry and kill them. Because that's the only thing Fenrir really has in the Persephone Cupid, and you're never going to ult a Sobek, probably, so yeah.
It's true, and with looking at these picks that the triple mids have locked in, this Cupid doesn't have CC immunity in that ultimate, so it's kind of a little bit easier target for Fenrir. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they prioritize to really go after here in these team fights. Bans coming out of triple mids, though. Hell and Scylla will be taken away from Satin Hell. And I mean, hey, the name, you got to ban it, so they will remove that god. And then the reverse side of things, Bully Busters taking away Magnetic's Retatosker and then the Kuzenbo as well. This is one that we've also seen picked up a little bit more recently. I've seen it a couple scrims as well as a few other leagues' games.
Yes, I was watching SPL earlier, and Neilma was playing it, of course. That's kind of his specialty pick. And but the other 2 mid bans are kind of targeted towards Satin Hell because those are in STL last year. Those are kind of our specialty picks. And here we see a Ymir and a Geb Hover. So
do you feel about this Geb hovering? It would most likely go over to let play in the support role, so back going solo lane for the Goose. Unless, of course, Goose wants to play Geb, but the buff hasn't come through quite yet, so I don't know if it's quite completely viable. But what are your feelings on this Geb currently in the meta?
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to pick it, but Geb is really good in Fenrir, mainly because you can click the 3 button, and
Yeah.
Fenrir doesn't get to ult you, so...
Feels so weird. It's still hovering it right now, so I really want to know. And Gilgamesh did make it through the bans. I was going to point that out as well. So Magnetic is going to go ahead and lock in the Gilgamesh. I think this could be really good. And Geb will be locked in here for triple mid. So this team count they put together is very Teamfight alt-esque. They literally just have 5 big circles.
Yeah, quite literally. I would say Geb's just going to sit next to Cupid Persephone and do Geb things, and hopefully Gilgamesh can get his damage off. The damage nerfs to him were significant. In my ranked games I've played, I mean, he's still being banned, but mostly people are playing him for the CC now because his ult's still kind of insane. But an ult cooldown nerf may make him fall out of the meta a little bit.
That's a good point. Is this alt cooldown that you got nerfed a little bit? Do you think Gilgamesh is now, and then on top of course, the damage reductions that you talked about, think he's better in the solo lane, or do you think he's still very viable in the jungle and can flex between those two roles?
Rise above the
I would lean more towards the jungle now. I thought he was really good in solo previously. I played him a little bit. We kind of spanned him last year in RSL playoffs. The Goose played it. I played it, I think, 1 game. But yeah, I think his damage nerfs kind of made him more of a jungle character because I think in jungle you can kind of build cooldown and just kind of suffer a little bit and just kind of just spam your ult because that's all you really got now is your ult CC.
Suffering such a good word because that's how every jungle main feels right now. They are suffering for at least another week. Discordia going to be the last pick in here for the Bully Busters to round out their comp, which seems to be very pick focused and lockdown of an alleyway mostly. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Sam, where are you at?
Not gonna lie, every scrim I've played, and there is a Gilgamesh versus a Discordia. That Discordia, like, that god just won't play the game. If Magnetic does not get a kill within the first 5 minutes of the game on the mid laner, I will be very confused. Because...
Well, yeah. It's a bold statement right there. He's not getting a kill in 5 minutes on the mid laner. Very, that's a bold call, Sam. I like it. First cast and already making... I'm saying this is happening. I love it. Anyway, let's look a little bit more at this Bully Busters team comp, though. Ymir, Cerberus, Double Guardian. Same thing for triple mids. Both the jungles for each team differ a little bit. I mean, we talked about the Gilgamesh being a warrior, a little bit tankier. Fenrir can go that really bruisery build and just get pretty tanky and able to just go in, grab somebody, bring them out. We talked about it. I feel like this triple mids comp just really disengages and counter engages a lot better than what Bully Busters can even engage with.
Yeah, so generally in the picks with Fenrir, you kind of have to commit to full damage or full tank. You can't go hybrid really anymore, and it's really rough to play the game against their kind of comp because they got 5 big circles, and what are you going to do against it?
Yeah, traded 5 big circles for 2 big circles and a couple line abilities and then a pickup that just runs you back to your team. Very odd synergy comp for Bully Busters, but hey, maybe they're going to pull it out. This could be like, hey man, look, Ares got their Serb. Bracken got his Heim. Eon got the Fenrir. Like, this is just exactly what we wanted. This is the perfect team comp that we wanted. And you never know how it's going to play out for him. It could be all their comfort picks.
Yeah, so our matchup today is comfort picks on one team versus a good-looking team comp on the other. So I do like the triple mids. I do like the triple mids comp more going into this, but if they get a good start off on their picks on the Bully Busters, they can pull this one out. The Bully Busters need to get an early lead, and it's going to have to be out of that. Probably that Fenrir and that Heimdall. So we're going to be looking a lot towards the mid lane and the dual lane this game.
Let's find out how it looks as we hop right into game number 1. Triple mids picking on Bully Busters. So as we get into this game, we see pretty much everything that we've talked about. This early lead that you were talking about, though, is what you really want to see from these teams. And hopefully they're able to get that and pretty much just get off to a really good start.
Yeah. Looks like... the Bully Busters dual lane is going to make it first, so they're going to have pressure. So they might be able to get a little bit of an invade on their Harpy. Looks like the Bully Busters jungler is also going to make it in the mid quicker. And yeah,
Really good start. Yeah, really good start there for Bully Busters to get a little bit more aggression out, being able to really push up. But it is Magnetic who made it to those mids to catch Eon, who took a little bit too much damage than they really wanted to. We talked about it, you know, invade that Harpy on the duo side, and that's what this dual lane does. I mean, Heim Ymir, it's a very oppressive lane to even try to play into.
Yes, so Heim Ymir is a very, I mean, arguably a classic dual lanes ever since Heim has been released and Ymir has been buffed, because they can just invade everything. Ymir can slap a buff and auto it for like 60 or 70 at level 2? That's insane. You almost out-secure every lane. But arguably with Gilgamesh and Purse and mid, they're going to have an easier time securing neutrals, which may allow Eagle Woman to get elite.
It feels really good too, just getting your Persephone a little bit ahead earlier on makes this later game just absolute damage fiend stronger. But now, if looking at the side, Triple Mid's got themselves a little bit of pressure back after Bully Busters had stepped over to their Alpha Harpy. They're able to collect that. You know, you're going to give a little bit of pressure to get a little bit more XP. That feels really good.
Yeah, I'd really love to see Eagle Woman kind of go, I call it the cooldown special, which is like a Chronos Pendant plus Spear of Deso. And on Persephone, it feels really good because if you ult somebody and get a kill in a team fight, that's like your ult's basically on a 30, 40 second cooldown. And I think that's what, I mean, in my personal opinion, that's the optimal build every time. On
Spamming a bunch of cooldowns, just
yeah,
throwing the damage. And also, she just does way too much damage, man. Can we get this god nerfed again? Or like, move it from the game? She just hits too hard.
I always thought the ult cooldown was really short. That was like my main problem with the character. Even before like the passive rework and the ult, or not the, yeah, mainly the passive rework and her abilities rework. That was kind of the problem because you could just straight up in a team fight and then you win because you get to go through your buttons quicker than the other person does. So.
Oh man, I'm so glad they reworked that passive. That thing was not fun to fight against. Like, you just get to keep being there, no one can hit you. You're like, hey, I'm still gonna throw damage, and I didn't get my ult off before I died, but hey, I got a second life.
Another really one of my favorite things. Oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of, I would say in the mid lane you can see some like fights go on because it's gonna be kind of whoever gets their Chronos Pendant first might be able to kill the other person because. Discordia with Chronos Pendant sitting in her little circle that her 3 drops is kind of nuts with cooldown, so.
Really nice for Discordia. Eagle Woman did take over to 5 before Satin Hell did. It allowed Eagle Woman to try to get a little bit more aggressive, try to find that solo kill with the ult. Wasn't able to find that. Did force the beads out of Hell as well. Eon's back around in the mid lane now. Not 5 quite yet. Neither is Satin Hell, so Eagle Woman should still be really safe. But no one's died yet, and this game's getting into the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, I personally don't like how long Satin is staying with how low her health is, because there's a Gilgamesh on the other team, and that's good luck, man. When he's about to take over the fight, which I think he just did, and he's rushing. He has beads, so he's just gonna beads your route and walk at you. So.
Towards mid tiers, you can see him on the map. Looks like Magnetic wants to get going early on now after getting that ultimate online. With Shmas really good at locking down an area, as well as just finding a kill with some of that tick damage, maybe even a root on the backside of it. Eon also ticking over to 5, so both junglers have ults at the ready when they'd like to use it. We'll see who elects to go first. Looks like Let's Play tries to find a knock on the Loiter, won't quite connect. Resulted maybe in an ult coming out on top of it, but again, everyone just played for 5 in this game, Sam. They were really happy with just getting to 5 and then starting to maybe look at that point.
Yeah, I'm surprised Magnetic didn't just go blink and just blink dropkick Discordia early game. But you do have to realize they got a Fenrir, Cerberus, Ymir. It's going to be really hard to get in there because that's what Gilga wants to do. And
definitely feel like that's one of his weaker points right now is really just getting in there. Makes it a little bit harder for him to just find his way in without that blink. Because if you're jumping in, you're kind of just saying, hey, I'm dead at this point unless we just win this fight outright. He is lurking on the left side. Magnetic is trying to find more damage. If he had that blink that you had talked about, could have found some good damage. Really good play by Eagle Woman to get more plans in onto Satin Hell, taking a little bit extra poke than they really wanted to. Nick finally going to give up that lurking positioning. Like Let Play had also started to be local on this. He's going to walk over a ward so they will know that they are there. They're just gonna sit under tower and let this game keep going. Hey, Sam, look, we're 5 minutes in, and Magnetic did get that kill in mid.
Yeah, I really expected Magnetic to go Blink because I mean, when I've played with him, he just gets in there, man. He's kind of also one of those players you kind of see like Awesome Jake doing SPL and some SEC players where they look like they're kind of just trolling with how they're positioning, and then they just bait every ability and win the team fight. And Magnetic is kind of almost like a master of the art of doing that sometimes. And I think he just played it safe because if you go Blink Gilgamesh and you mess up one fight, you're not going to be very useful until your Blink's up again. So
just kind of out of it. Fighting over the mids, just a little bit more poke. I'm out to nothing again. Everyone's just trading out this farm. Let play trying to find another knockback here as well. Magnetic lurking on the left sides. Nothing's going to happen. Satin does know that Magnetic is on that left side of the map. Eon, though, in a really good position to potentially aggress onto Eagle Woman. No one really wants to take that first step. No one wants to start this fight. This feels like such a EU-style game as they're finally going to knock down the Scorpion.
Yeah, I do see one bit of aggression, though. If you notice in the Relic situation, everybody on mids has beads, but ABC, and then Blink, and then everybody on Bully Busters has beads and Bracer, but Eon, he has Blink, which luckily on Fenrir you can go Blink and kind of not have to go beads because you have a ridiculously long-lasting CCME ultimate.
Red buff will go down and confirmed by the Bully Busters will be able to get out of line, but Magnetic's still trying to find a little bit of damage, and very interesting bug right there. It looked like Eon will get the first blood onto Eagle Woman in the mid lane, though. Bracken did have his beats forced out in that last fight, getting Son of Two Dogs ultimate. That dropkick just like sent Disco like 30 feet to the left, and then she pinged back from the other side. Like, that feels bad.
Oh, I was playing with a friend of mine. His name's Joe. And that happened to him the other day in a ranked game. I was watching him on stream. He drop kicked somebody into a wall, and they just went straight up. It was like that really old bug with if you played Freya King Arthur, and Freya would banish somebody, and then he would King Arthur would knock up with the two. They would go straight to the ceiling. It was hilarious. And that's what it looked like right there. That just happened.
That's really unlucky there for me. That could have resulted potentially a kill, especially because Loiter had gone straight into the ultimate. But it might have just been for a little bit extra peel for his mid laner. And again, first blood went in the way of Bully Busters, so that's gotten themselves, I was going to say lead, but they're still just a little bit farther behind triple mids who have just been farming really, really well.
Yeah, so usually how farm works in Smite is it's whatever team can kind of get through their farm first and split it the most efficiently. And even with the first blood bonus that you can get in Smite, the triple mids are still just ahead because Eagle Woman's just exerting so much pressure on the map, she can get every neutral and everything for herself and split it with her teammates.
A really good job too of farming triple mids I mean, Eagle Woman had a little bit of a lead on Satin Hell for a little bit. It's closed up at this point. Big difference though in my eyes is in this jungle. Eon is 2 levels up over Magnetic, but they're still just barely behind, which means to me that they're finding really good farm elsewhere on the map, such as the dual lane.
Yeah, and arguably the lead that Eon has at the moment is kind of carried by his first blood bounty, and just that he's farming more efficiently. Also, if you notice in the build path, Magnetic went Blackthorn into Fighter's Mat, that was kind of good at the end of Phase 1 playoffs, SPL time. I think that was like around June or July, because it just had so much power and you could spike into it really easily. And I don't think that spike is what Magnetic really needs right now. I think he needs to get more pen in his build so he can do more damage.
A very odd build path from the jungler here for triple mids, but you know, it could be something that they've practiced in scrims before, and like, hey, this does exactly what I need it to do when I need it to, so they're going to play for it. Two-Dog getting aggressive here on Bracken, though, right away. Bifrost comes out, stun, will connect, but Bracken is able to get out of there. Really no worries, you know, he just got able to slip out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like Magnetic is waiting for a gank here onto...
Oh, close. Didn't quite get that.
I think he walked on that ward that they have up in the left quadrant of mid.
Yeah, most likely did. Really good play, though, then by Loiter and Satin to be able to recognize he's there, back off just a little bit, and give up that pressure. Almost got a double drop kick, which would have been really, really clean. Potentially led to a little bit more damage. Gold Fury has spawned 10 minutes into this game. Looks like Two-Dog getting aggressive on the left side, forces out through the Realm's ultimate. He'll be okay for just a moment. Bracken, that is, fallen down 2 levels, but the rotation from the boys is here. Two Dog's gonna be greeted by Eon, and a really good wall out of Loiter will go ahead and secure that kill for him and for his team.
I did like what Son of Two Dog did there. He didn't beads because if he beads, he probably just dies. So I mean, there's no point in giving up your actives. And I think even with his lead and everything, I think that was actually a smart play by him.
I agree. I think he was able to still get his pressure in the lane. He was able to get all of his farm. He forced out a little bit of bully busters on what they wanted to do. I mean, he got the Heim ultimate, still has beats down on him as well. And he's coming back with his Aegis up, so he's in a really good spot.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at the solo lane builds here, and I see that Goose went into Pridwin instead of a physical defense, but Ares is going into what is a Tyrannical Plate Helm. Yeah.
Woo,
so I think in the mid game, Ares is gonna have a better rotation because you're just gonna have so much pressure with the Tyrannical and minions.
That's something that's really important in these games too, is how these solo laners will rotate into the fight. Eagle Woman did solo out Satin Hell in the mid lane. Magnetic taking a lot of damage here from that ultimate. Ymir went boom, but didn't get the kill. But now it is Two Dog who has made their way into this fight. He will get the first kill of disengagement and drops Loiter to the grayscale.
Yeah, so I hope the triple mids go to Gold Fury here. I don't know if they can pull it with Bracking there, but if Bracking shows up, they can probably just go on him and kill him. So this should be good.
This is a really good play by triple mids. Bracken does not have beads available to him for another 15 seconds, so if he goes in, it'll have to just be all by himself. Blood used to try to confirm this a little early on. Triple mids will confirm the Golden Fury. Bracken almost got that one in there, but not quite able to pierce the Gold Fury. Good attempt by him, and he was also able to get out. Beads are back up now and didn't have to face any punishment that the triple mids could have put onto him.
Yeah, I think Bracking just played it safe there. He got a couple autos on it, and I mean, if anything, he could have just ulted away and probably been fine. They'd have to really commit on him to go on him.
Turn around here in mid. Eagle Woman gonna pick up Eon after Eon had killed out Eagle Woman. So trying in jungle for the mid, which will really help out Satin Hell here, just because he's behind. Disco is behind currently in this game. Taking out their mid laner feels really, really good. And Eon was ahead, so Eon's pretty much saying, hey, I'm going to trade my life out here, get some farm, get back into this game, and we'll take you to late game and party on.
Yeah, I'm really digging Satin's, or not Satin, but Eagle Woman's lead right now. She's about it looks like about probably half an item ahead. And I think that's going to be really good for Persephone, because mid laner's been going into that Chronos Pendant, Soul Gem, Reaver, because they're just so good. The proc items are so good right now for mid laners, and they just do so much damage.
Talk to me a little bit about this Disco build here as well. Just going to try to steal away the Fireside Scorp, and we'll get it. Really well play by Loiter to grab that one. But talk to me about this Disco build here. Going Chronos Pendant and going right into an Ob Shard right after to get their 20% pen online with a little bit extra on those first abilities. Is this a spot where you think could be really good on certain gods such as Disco, or just kind of maybe an interesting build path?
Satin Hell's been behind the most part of this game, but I think it's really good because most of the time in Smite, proc items are really good from ahead. It's kind of like the same philosophy, like defense is good from ahead, but damage is bad when you're ahead. It's kind of the same thing with like proc items in mid. If you're ahead, you can slam a Reaver Soul Gem and not do anything and do well. So.
Big fight kicking off here. Eon very, very low at the end of it. A lot of ults used so far. Through the rump will come out. Bracking sends out somebody to land very, very shortly. And they will live it. Let's Play was the one that got thrown. Big tanky Geb able to get out. Started off with a really good wall from Loiter. Turned into Bully Busters on the full disengage. Really good synergy from Let Play and Eagle Woman to just double up their ults, try to find a lot of damage. But again, no one died in that and everyone gets out.
Yeah, they're actually having really good backline synergy because Cupid is one of the best backline peelers in the game. Last year at Worlds, he was played quite a bit.
He also had a pretty good buff at that point in time, too. Taking a couple nerfs to items, really, I think is what dropped him out of the meta. Good wall from Ymir will keep the autos from going on. A sick 3-man freeze here from Loiter. He's going to try to pull a couple of beads, as well as Ares has made their way in. Stygian Torment not going to connect quite at all because of those beads that were still active. Iframe still rocking out. Eon trying to get aggressive, but the ultimate back out from Persephone. Eon could potentially die. Has good beads and able to run away from the backside, away from all the other damage. It does have given triple mids the time to regroup and look potentially for a little bit more. Be forced down this mid tower. It looks like Goose trying to find something in the left side of the map. They have joined. Fight here in the mid lane. Mid tower will fall. Now that's what's happening afterwards. Goose just running for Eon in the duo side Phoenix. Just straight chasing this man.
Yeah, Sobek, he can hold W most of the time and not get punished, so. We do see them pulling through.
It goes right down to the way of the triple mids. Ares tried to get a little bit local to steal it away. Didn't have a chance to find a good shot on the one. So they'll just back off. Be very, very safe. But now this opens up this fire side of the map too here, Sam. 16 minutes into the game. I don't think their power spikes are quite there yet to really party with the fire giant. You know, 2.5k up. Triple mids could look for it.
Yeah, triple mids don't have that big of a lead, so you can't just... It's not going to be a pull, oh, I can just pull this in your face and I'm going to win because I'm ahead of you. They're going to have to really be looking out on this fire giant and potentially Oni Fury that's going to spawn in about a minute.
Where would you like triple mids to play here with this lead? They have the Oni Fury coming up in under a minute, like you just mentioned. Do you want them to play this left side, try to find this Oni Fury, and then run to the right side of the map and look for Fire Giant after? Or maybe they try to bait out this Gold Fury and say, hey, Billy Busters, there's a Gold Fury, go take it. We're going to take Fire Giant.
Yeah, so I think what the triple mids need to do is they need to kill a backliner. And if they kill a backliner, I think they just run to fire or bait. Or they can, if they need to kill someone, or bait, basically. If they can bait any kills on the map, they're going to win.
He's using Stygian Torment, trying to peel off Magnetic, but there's 3 over here for triple mids, which opens up this Gold Fury for the Bully Busters. This spawn at any second. They will pick up that kill onto Ares, but this Oni Fury is the problem. Bracking Bifrosting all the way from base into the lane. Get himself here just a little bit sooner and try to group up with his team and fight around this Oni Fury. It is triple mids who have made their way in. Ian is jumping on top of Eagle Woman, not going to find it quite yet. And now it is Magnetic who jumps on top of Eon. Son of Two-Dog going to get the first kill here. The apples come out. Two-Dog Aegising out, not taking a little bit extra damage. Another good pick for triple mids. Gold Fury is started. Magnetic trying to do his best to zone a little bit higher up. We'll give it up for the moment. ABC in a spot, could potentially look to re-engage. Does have the ultimate online. He's going to find it right there. Bracking taking so much damage and will immediately fall. Geb Shield right on top of Two-Dog. Keep him alive. He has a double kill. It'll now be Loiter's turn to fall. Really good wall will save him for the moment. But will he get out? It is up to Magnetic to chase him down. Not sure if he's quite going to get it. The slow will come through. And a nice shot from Eagle Woman over the wall. We'll confirm that one. Make that a delayed deicide.
Not going to lie, ABC he just got in there, ulted 2 people, got their backline dead, and now maybe they get the gold free. Oh, they got it. I'd love to see them back, spend their gold, and go set up wards and Fire Giant and do a Fire Giant dance. They got a big lead right now, 6k up.
Was way too close, Sam.
Yeah, I think ABC was 1 HP.
I already have a bad heart right now. I didn't need that Gold Fury to do that to me. Like, come on, man. They all live, though, so good for them. Eagle Woman having her ult forced out by Ares, who's running up just a little bit more aggressive. Red buff now for Eagle Woman. Like, come on, man. Don't do this to my heart. You can't be doing this. You're too low. This is going to be... Oh my gosh. I'm going to have a heart attack by the end of this game. This is not going to be good.
Yeah, the triple mids
I'm going to give you my address during, like, mid. It's just in case, man. Holy.
The triple mids more like the low HP warriors, man. They just... 3 of them 1 HP on Gold Fury, dude? That was insane. I would have hopped off of that if I was the support there.
I'm sweating so hard now after that. Jeez, got me quaking in my boots. Bracking, Two-Dog getting aggressive on top of Bracking. Gonna find the Heart Bomb now. Aegis comes out. Not able to get into that Bifrost because it was all the way back into maybe it was on top of each other. Protection whispering in my ear. That's where it was at. Very unfortunate placing for Bracking. Couldn't really get out of that. And now the aggression is in. His mid lane wall comes up, which means that Magnetic is on his own for the moment, taking a lot of damage. But the ultimate from Persephone is back up, which means that Magnetic will have an easier time chasing down the Discordia. Loiter will fall on the end of it. Give Magnetic the double here in this fight, and this opens up the Fire Giant.
Yes, I think they're playing really good Smite right now. I would love to see them. I think they just pull Fire Giant. They got Loiter and Satin dead, and that's kind of the people you need to hit their buttons in a fight to win.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're going to start the Fire Giant right now. They took off 2 of the best players to move from this. No really good steal potential for Bully Busters. Again, not a lot of great confirm for triple mids. We saw it earlier. They're trying to use the Fields of Love to do it. Magnetic's going to be on zone duty now as well as the Goose. Eon's going to jump in, and they try to look to take the fight Ian now all by himself. He can't run out, otherwise he'll die to the fire. He'll end up falling to Magnetic. Fire Giant's still really, really low. It looks like the waterfall is on now for the Bully Busters, and Bracken's gonna go ahead and steal away with an auto attack and pick up 2 on the return before he falls to the Goose. Really good play by Bracken.
Yes, that was an excellent play by Bracking, but what I noticed during that fight is Son of Two Dog was not doing a lot of damage to that Fire Giant at all. The damage was just kind of Goose slapping it with his abilities, and luckily they got some return kills on it, but losing that Fire Giant is quite unfortunate for them.
Really, really tough that they didn't get that, and lost 2 players on the back end of that. Magnetic and Let Play both had fallen. Really good job of peeling off Eon Eyes from on Eagle Woman when he dove in. He was pretty much dead at that point. You just jump off fire for a second, let him die, you go back on it. But then they didn't go back on it, man. And that was what really was my note was, just didn't try to confirm it and let Heim walk in and auto it.
Yes, I also noticed Eon ran in with his ultimate and Magnetic up down to do the damage with his jump, but he actually landed on the Fire Giant knockup and took a lot of damage, and that kind of made him die.
Quite see that. Really good point out there. That's my chair 2 here tonight, everybody. That's the one and only Sam Howes. We keep moving on into this set here between Triple Mids and the Bully Busters. Pyromancer now on the eyes of the Triple Mids, who have gotten themselves a pretty nice lead here, Sam. They got up about 7k now. They're in a really good spot even without this Fire Giant.
Yeah, in ADC's build, he has a Relic Dagger, so he can blink on cooldown, and he has Magi, so he's going to be really hard to kill as a Geb. And when you're hard to kill as a Geb, that means you can just free cast for your backline and do everything you want to do.
I hate that. Don't give the rock Magi's, man. Like, that just makes this guy even easier. I mean, not taking away from Let Play. He's playing it very, very well, mind me. Like, throw Magi's on Geb. You already have his shield. I guess he's shielded more of his teammates, though, to be fair.
Yeah, Magi's is a really good pickup here because every single person who can pop his bubble has to basically walk up to him and commit. So
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think 2 Dogs was gonna try to take that tower. I thought he was gonna wait for minions, like, bro, just go in. It's like, sneeze on it or something. There's the Magi's that you talked about getting pulled away from Eon after a really good jump. Eagle Woman trying to get aggressive here, drops the ultimate, trying to find anything really. He's trying to fight Ares off on the right side. I feel like Eagle Woman was out of position just a little bit too much there, and now Goose might have baited the rest of Bully Busters into a really awkward spot. Blink goes in, gets the beads and Aegis out from Bracken. They're going to be a very susceptible target here in this next fight. And, you know, honestly, Triple Mids could wait for Eagle Woman's ult to come back up because they have the time. It's not like they're waiting for a Fire Giant.
yeah, luckily, as I was talking about earlier, part of the Wombo combo, Eagle Woman has half of it. So they're going to have that ult up in probably, what, 20 seconds? 20, 30 seconds? So they can kind of just pull this Gold Fury and go.
I can get pulled back in once more after Goose had already pulled the beads and Aegis earlier. Kick will come through, and it's only up to Magnetic to try to finish off this kill, but it's actually Let Play who was falling very, very low. Eon will get that first kill and sneak out with their life. Ares still alive in the backline somehow. Everyone really, really low. Aegis popped on Satin now. Really awkward interaction there between the knock-up and the drop kick. Will Satin in a weird spot. They will end up falling after the Aegis is fallen. Magnetic blinking through the purple buff. Loiter for something or another. Great pluck from Goose, though. Put Loiter right into a wall. Goose has been baited out, and there it is right now. The ultimate backup that you talked about it, and Loiter will fall.
Yeah, and luckily throughout all that chaos, Son of Two Dogs alive, so they might be able to push some towers down, maybe. But we do see Bracking and Ares coming up, so they're probably just going to go down mid or look at the Gold Fury again.
Still no beat. Aegis this time definitely does not have their ultimate, so very, very susceptible this time. Ares jumping in, trying to look for a steal. Looks like you're going to have to get off it. Triple Mids will confirm it for the start. Magnetic taking the brunt of the damage. 2 Dogs getting aggressive on top of Eon. Going in, he gets the first kill of it. The ult, though, from Ares will pick up that kill. A little bit of extra damage, trying to find it. Bracken gets pulled back in. Sir, you do not have any safety this time. He will fall. Goose picks up that kill and now starts lurking in the waters, trying to find Ares. It will go to Eagle. And that cleans up the rest of that team fight.
I don't know about that dash in from Son of Two Dog, but
It's a legend. I don't care.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he said no. He said no. He said I'm gonna win the game. But good recognition by Magnetic there for the CC chain, the Sobek Pluck, and the drop kick, just completely owned Bracking.
I mean, also, again, we talked about it. Bracken, no relics or ult there, trying to step back up and gets absolutely wombo combo, as we talked about it earlier. Just thrown into a wall after getting plucked, and man's just getting juggled Well, can we talk about Two Dog for a second? 7-2-5. Guy is looking really good so far on this Cupid. And he's aggressively dashing in, and in my book, that's a win if you're playing ADC. If you're comfortable enough to dash in aggressively, you're feeling great.
Yeah, if you look at the damage charts, I mean, all the lanes are just pumping the numbies, man. I mean, we got 19k damage on Eagle Woman, 17 on Son of Two Dog. They're doing what they want to do. They're playing their own game, and the Bully Busters, they're not able to respond at all. So
See how they respond a little bit later on into this game, as well as the rest of the set. Still, of course, middle of game one, we'll have a game two no matter what. So if they do come out on top of this game, we'll see how they switch up their early game picks, or if they try to run it back and again just try to live through this early to mid game, starting to get towards those later game stages of game. Goose with a nice knockup will stop Eon's jump, but buff will still go the way of Bully Busters. Now Fire Giant has started up under half health here for triple mids. And it looks like Bracken is once more going to be the target. Beebs and his ult on top of him, and the ult as well ends up hitting Goose, so he will be rooted in place for a moment. A just popped out as well. Goose will get the kill on his Satin Health. Pluck on top of Bracken will pull him away from his jungler, but Eagle Woman, alongside the help of her backline, will go ahead and pick up Ares, and a beautiful ult to just slam down Loiter, take him very, very low. They gotta look for Bracken here. He's gotta have a Bifrost for the moment. Looks for the knockup, and Goose will go ahead and pick up that kill. He was a little too low. Knockup now from Let Play. No Heart Bomb this time from Son of Two Dog. Will miss just wide. Let Play trying to chase out Eon really, really low. Magnetic will get that kill, and that is the deicide.
yeah, so I think the triple mids played that really well. The Goose, he was just able to walk at the back line, get a Sobek pluck his ult off, and you know Sobek ult late game just does insane damage, especially with a Pridwin in the build. Your Pridwin's going to be hitting for 200-300, and the Goose just did Goose things.
Really did do Goose things, and has picked up the Chronos pendant as well too, so you're really just trying to get that ult up as much as you can. And hey, I'm not gonna complain. He's third on the damage charts, bro. He's outdoing Magnetic.
Yeah. I mean, late game Sobek, man, it's insane. I don't know about the Chronos pendant pickup. I like when I play Guardians of Solo, I like comboing like a Spear of Deso plus Genji's, because then if you get a kill and get slapped, you have your abilities up again after your ult. It's especially good on Sobek. So.
Yeah. As many pucks as you can get in a row, probably feeling really good. Just start chaining them, you know. Just think if it had like 0 second cooldown, you just pluck in and then pluck into somewhere else, and just keep like pogging your way, kind of like a Tusky ult almost. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, there's a clip of me. I think it was semifinals last year last season in the playoffs. I think I plucked somebody 3 times in a fight.
That's tough. I would hate to be that person.
The fight was like 20 seconds, and I was like, "Dang."
Bro, I just
play the game, man. You know.
If you're getting plugged 3 times with the same person, I'm complaining after that game. Be like, yo, somebody get him off me, please. I need some sort of peel. Like, Loiter, come over here, take some of these plucks for me. He's been doing really good work. Now mid tower is going to be under duress. Bully Busters here. Triple mids walk their way in. A good wall from Loiter will stop the autos right now from Two Dog, but Two Dog doesn't really care. He's got minions in there. He's saying, I'm just going to stand here, keep on autoing as that wall sits here. Now, if you look towards this left side where Magnetic is, Buster's not really in a great spot to respond to any push currently, and it could be a really awkward position if they go for a Phoenix.
Yeah, I would really just love to see them get all the towers and try to do like a split. Like, I'd love to see someone go in that right lane and get that minion wave up to the right Phoenix, but not push it, obviously. Or jungle push mid Phoenix as well.
We'll have to find out how they look to do it. Looks like they're just going to stay 5 strong here on the left side of the map. Minion wave is here. He's going to get cleared out by the Bully Busters, but doesn't matter. Goose still going in. Finds the beads off Bracken, and will be able to walk away almost freely. Does go ahead and pop in the waters. Two Dog standing outside of the Phoenix, not able to get in there, but now Magnetic has found his way to the back line, and he finds himself into Niflheim, gets smacked straight out of the map for the moment, but Two Dog's going to find the first kill here, and Goose will find the second. Magnetic has rejoined the fight and is still alive, has the ult up. Two Dog dashing in. He'll find Satin here, but it will be Eagle Woman that steals that kill away. Loiter now next on the chopping block. Good wall from him, and this is the game here, Sam.
Yeah, it was kind of hilarious. I saw Magnetic go in. He just gets sent into the sky, and somehow they live. So
yeah, Magnetic got sent straight out of the map almost immediately as getting in there. He's flung right out, but hey, worked out for him. He's like, I'm not taking damage here. They're in the back with me. Like, keep hitting the Phoenix. They take the Phoenix down really quickly, and they're able to move right on into the throne room. Game 1 going over to triple mids. Anything you really have for the end of that game here, Sam?
Uh, yeah, I thought originally that at the end of that Phoenix siege, they should like split it so they get the Fenrir on the other side with the Gilgamesh, so they can take the Fenrir ult out of the fight. But Eon just he couldn't get his damage off or his ult off to really do anything because they had Gebs.
I don't really know where you're getting a Fenrir ult into that either. Like the Geb was just so like on point with the shields.
Yeah.
Ian was already in the back line. Really hard for him to get use out of this Fenrir pick in that late game team fight. Maybe they go back into picks and bans, find themselves a better comp for it. They want to run it back. I didn't think it looked bad. I thought it looked just fine. I think Eon could continue running it as well. You know, you got to switch something up. You can't give them back 5 circle ults.
Yeah, I really think they should switch up the mid pick. It's not that Discordia is bad. It's just Gilgamesh owns that god. I mean, there's quite literally no support in the game that could probably peel Gilgamesh off of a Discordia. And trust me, in the scrims I have played, I have tried so many times to just solo peel, and it's impossible. And arguably, the pick to do that effectively is Geb. And guess who has Geb? The other team.
Other team. We'll have to find out what they're going to do here in game number 2. We'll be right back on the other side of this break.
So notes from game 1, I really noticed that the Discordia into Gilgamesh was extremely rough. Other than that, I think they played well. Cerberus is kind of iffy sometimes into like a Cupid Geb because Geb can just say no to you because that's what Geb does. And we do see the typical two bans from the first two bans from last game, Artio, Tiamat, and now an Osiris for the second ban for the triple mids.
Looks like they're just going to run the same bands back. The only change up this time so far, though, will be the Persephone takeaway from the Bully Busters, which will leave open another pick here for triple mids, the top pick. And I think this is a great idea. You know, you're going to limit what they can play. I think Eagle Woman looked really good on Persephone. They're taking away the Odin now. Artemis also being banned out, so we'll leave open different mage, and it will be the Scylla that is locked in early on.
I do really like the Persephone ban because when you play Ymir, if you have to go beads and you can't go 2 teamfight relics, it's extremely rough to play that god because you can't benefit your team more than you can. You see players like Genetics and SPL going, Shell plus the wombo of Shell, Med, and Renewal. That it's sick. I've tried it myself. You just do everything. But if Ymir can't do something that can benefit his team outside of having, a wall and a stun that can get DR'd really easy because your teammates will have stuns, it's really hard for him to do what he wants to do.
Let's see if they go back to that Ymir pick. I don't think it looked too bad on Loiter. I think that's one of his better gods he does play. I mean, I'd be excited if they went back and especially took it away from triple mids because, sure, Let Play had a really good Geb. I don't want to see a Ymir with a Scylla. That just already is spelling danger to me early on.
Yeah, it wasn't really the Ymir wasn't the problem, but when you have that team fight, it's just so good. I do want to see some big CC setup for the Scylla, though. Ymir is a good god, Sobek. I mean, you saw Scylla Sobek at Worlds last year. That was really good. So,
I mean, we almost saw Scylla Sobek in that last game. Sobek was played by the Goose. This time, we go back to Ramahel locked in. Does leave open the Heimdall for 2 dogs, so we'll have to see that. I just wanted to point that out before we get a little bit farther into these picks and bans. I'd love to see him go to it this time here in this game. Ramahel, pretty strong top 2.
Yeah, if I know Bracking, he is a team fight extraordinaire. That's his favorite thing to do in Smite. And he really, his favorite SPL teams are probably the Kings, because those guys team fight really well. And as we say, 2 more team fight picks for the Scylla on the side of the triple mids, Serb and Sobek.
I mean, you talked about it too, the Sobek on top of the Scylla. We're going to get to see it here in this game. And then adding on top of the Cerberus, this is limiting what of these picks play in what role, though. Sobek and Cerberus, both Guardians. One of them's going support, one of them's going solo. Which one you prefer where?
Depending on the Hunter pick. Serb is... I've been trying this a little bit in just some rank, but Serb Freya is really fun because you just slow people to death. It's funny.
Oh,
that's an old season 4 or season 5 thing with Splice. But we do see them pick up the Fafnir for the objective shred for the Rama. So we could see an auto attack jungler like an Erling come out. That'd be really good for objectives for their team on the Bully Busters.
True. Maybe even flex this Hell into the solo and give it to Ares, but Set and Hell is in the game, so I'd imagine it's going to them. Kind of not really a signature pick, but also it's in the name. You got to play it if it's there for you. We'll see what they decide to do going into the ban phase zone, what they ban out triple mids, that is, to see where they think this hell is going to go. Heimdall being removed from Bully Buster, so Two Dog's not going to get it in this game. So I'm hoping this is going to game 3. I want to see Two Dog on it. I want to see the Bracken versus Two Dog. You know, I play Heim, you play Heim. Let's see which one of us can play it better. Gilgamesh being removed from the triple mids now. They don't want to give it back to Magnetic, who I thought looked really good.
Yeah, I would say Gilga's probably an Eon pick. I mean, if there's any tank in the game that you can play in jungle, Eon's going to play it, obviously. It's just tanks. When tanks are meta, I mean, tank players can go in the jungle pretty easily sometimes, so.
Isn't a tank is this Loki that was banned away from triple mids, which tells me that they don't want to deal with any sort of invisibility, especially since Bully Buster had banned that Heim out.
Yeah, Loki is also another good Eon pick. I have been on the receiving end of that. It is. There's just some man. Dude, I just love the Loki rework because now it's like there's so much more nuance to the character when you play. It's insane.
Athena being locked in here still has a lot of flex potential now for Bully Busters because Fafnir's pretty much a loiter pick, right? Like, I don't see that god going anywhere else. Athena, is she going to go to the solo lane or is she going to go to jungle? To find out as they get to their last pick is Serket and Hachiman is what it's going to look like. Will round out the triple mids draft.
Yeah, I do like Athena jungle into gods that don't have like a movement ability or a escape.
Love to see Chiron now being hovered, and then the Uller looks like they're pinging around a couple choices. It's probably somebody that's not Two Dog picking his character, and Two Dog's like, just give me somebody, but this is who I'd like to play. So they're just gonna go tab through all the gods, you know, and just be like, oh, you're gonna play this one now. You're gonna play this one. Well, ends up being the Chiron that's getting locked in for him. And then the Willix is what's hovered and locked in.
I guess the Awilish pick is just for the Scylla, and Serket. And actually, Awilish is really good in the Serb too. But you're going to have to react with jumps. So it's going to basically be, if you jump, you might not be able to live after the fact. So
yeah, if you're jumping, you're signing your death ward if you jump.
Yeah.
It means to me that triple mids are slamming some beads here, which is very odd that they didn't pick it on the side of the Sobek. I do like the Serket. I think this god is really, really good. She's really frustrating to play against, especially from a backline perspective if you're going against a good Serket. This Awilix, I just want to talk about this pick here for a minute here, Sam. Doesn't have a lot of setup from her team. There's not a lot of like, hey, I'm going to knock somebody up with this god.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of doing like combos with the Wheelish. Some classics are, I can think of it, season 5 or season 6 Splice. They did like the first phase. They did a lot of like Jormungandr support plus a Wheelish, which that's actually a really good combo and should be used more. And Sobek knockup, Sobek pluck is really good. But an Awilish just to counter jumps is not how you should be really playing that character. But maybe Eon just knows something I don't. He's also really good. I mean, he's just a really good mechanical player in general. So he might just outplay people.
Me out. Athena jungle, Awilish solo.
Ooh, that would be spicy. But Awilish has to be really aggressive because her Suku is really good for rotations because you just have passive movement speed at the start of the game. So you'd have to rotate early on that god. And with Tyrannical plate helmet being in the game, it's really hard for any physical character to play at all because the item's just so oppressive towards them.
We're gonna have to see how the soul lane works. Like, pretty much ends up here, Sam. This is one that I'm looking towards now because Cerberus going into Athena, of course, it could be Sobek going into that Athena in the soul lane. Or, I mean, I guess I could say Fafnir could also be over there instead of the Athena, but I really expect this Athena to be over there, which means there's probably gonna be a lot of rotations that's coming out on the side of Bully Busters to help. I'll ask you that question here in a second. Let's go ahead and jump right on into game number 2, and I'll let you answer the question now.
Yeah, so I think Athena is one of my favorite characters because she's like one of the few soul laners you can go, and TP does not feel bad. Because what you can do is you can see if you have a really good like jungle combo, like my favorite is Tsukiyomi Athena, you just Tsukiyomi ult, and then Athena like halfway through his ult, and you'll slam somebody for like all their health. And the cool thing is when your team is starting a fight on the other side of the map, you can rotate to it and then TP back to lane, and you might lose like a creep or two, which isn't bad.
Oh, man, that would be so just like frustrating to play against. It's like, oh, Athena's ulting. Okay, cool. I'm gonna slam this way proxy. You start pushing up, and all of a sudden you just see the TP around the tower. Like, bro, she's already back. Come on.
Yeah. But if we do notice that the Athena's relic selection and item selection, Ares went Vamp Shroud plus beads, so there might not be too many rotations early. So with that sort of playstyle in mind, it's going to be if your Athena rotation can get you like an objective, like a Gold Fury. So we're going to see some rotations mid game, and Ares is definitely going to be out rotating the Goose on the Cerberus.
I hope so, man. If Goose out rotates Ares on Athena, then there's going to be something very, very wrong with how Bully Busters are playing. Just because the ultimate just get to the other side of the map, dual lane pressure once more favoring Triple Mid, just being very, very aggressive with their picks. It is the Sobek in the dual lane, and to talk about Goose having the Cerberus into the short lane. The pressure going once again towards Triple Mids, who are able to confirm a lot of these early game buffs.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd to see a Scylla just be able to do everything, but a secret combo, actually I saw this in SPL today, I was watching, was a Circuit Scylla, because you can ult somebody or taunt somebody and they just eat your damage. It's kind of insane.
That is true. It's really good lockdown potential. A lot of damage done to Magnetic from Satin, Hell, and Eon. Really good start for them playing some pretty early game characters. Hell just... I just describe her as a shotgun, Sam. She just does so much damage for no reason early game.
Yeah, gosh, that god has made me want to cry in scrims.
Right?
The build where you just go do more breastplate and then you go a Reaver. For some reason, you're freaking 3 hits for 1k? Why? It's just so rough. Bracken gives up his beads here to the Sobek Plex, so they might be looking for a gank in the duo in a minute because he is Rama without beads and no ult. So
be a really good look, and it does confirm his own Scorpion. Good auto from Bracken there to slip it right between two players. See that Scorpion back. So if they really want some healing, they can step up into it. But you're right, beads down on the Rama makes him a very susceptible target, especially early on in this game. And that's another thing to talk about, Sam, is Bully Busters were looking a little bit better as those later game team fights started happening. The early game was pretty strong. They're pretty even up. ABC's trying to get another pluck onto Bracken. I feel like Bully Busters are just drafting for these late game team fight gods that don't have as much synergy as Triple Mids had drafted.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because I was interviewing some players on some teams before the games just to ask them about like some picks or some metas they have in mind from scrims. And I was told that the Triple Mids are more of like a early game team, but right now, if we've seen it, they're just dominating every aspect of the game. As we see a little gank come in from Magnetic.
You can be an early game team that just powerhouses a late game once you get those leads, and that Triple Mids looked really good doing it last game. They got themselves a really good lead about 15 minutes in, and then they just never looked back. It was just really all them from that point forward, and really good play by them. You can't take anything away. Bully Busters just fell really far behind, and you got to work your way back into that game, and they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, you see a lot of pressure in the Triple Mids duo lane, and that's because Chiron can clear the way very well, and Sobek can, And you got Fafnir Hammer and Rama autos versus 4 abilities and autos, and you're just not going to clear the wave against them. So they're going to be able to invade and get neutrals and get a fat lead. Luckily, Bracken did steal that Scorpion earlier, so he's not terribly bad, but it's not feeling very good for him right now.
Definitely not in a spot where he's feeling great. We'll see how 2Dog has to play this 1v1 laning phase. Looked really, really clean last game as well into Bracken. So I'm excited to see how this goes out. Pluck not going to connect just because of the cleanse from Hell. Magnetic trying to get underneath the tower, not find anything else. Eon now is into the mid lane, probably going to find something. Gets the Gravity Surge, and Eon will find the first blood of game number 2. A great start for Bully Busters.
Excellent start. Unluckily, Magnetic did not have his beads, so he just dies there. And I do want to ask you something. So, how is the Chiron Rama matchup in lane? Because we've been focusing on duo lane on this cast more. So,
it feels very interesting just because it depends what they build. If you go Bluestone Trans, 2Dog on the Chiron is just going to win the lane no matter what, just because you just do too much damage, no matter what Bracken does. But if they go the full auto attack build, Bracken should be able just to shred the lane about 10 minutes in and just be able to take any 1v1 with 2Dog, as long as 2Dog doesn't have a lead on him, because Chiron just pushes a lead very, very well.
So is the significant thing just Rama's cripple auto on his dash? Is that kind of what changes it?
It can be. It's really who's aggressing. If 2Dog's aggressing, it can be really good for Bracken to have that cripple auto up. But if Bracken pulls forward and then cripples, I don't think Two Dog's too scared because he just drops his one onto him, hits an auto, drops the two, gets all the damage off, and just all ins at that point, and there's not much Bracken can do. Weird build path from Two Dog this game, though, going for the dominance instead of transcendence. To me, this is just him going, I didn't have enough for trans in my bag, I'm just going to slam dominance.
Yeah, dominance, and Bracking's probably going to buy Ichabal. So it doesn't matter. You have to be 4 levels ahead, basically, to outtrade an Ichabal player. So I think Son of Two Dog should play for the mid to late game. But you never know. People can misplay or get ganks in lane, and there he could have pressure. But he shouldn't fight Bracking in a straight-up 1v1 as soon as he gets the Ichabal online.
You know, maybe he will, and maybe Two Dog's like, hey, look, I'm better than Bracken, I'm going to try to take the mech trade with him, and then he wins it, and then we can be like, yep, look, Two Dog better than Bracken. But as of right now, I have Bracken higher on my list, so I would say don't take the auto trade unless you're really confident in winning it. Plug in onto Loiter, and he'll be able to jump away safely with a little bit of healing from the hell. Again, back to your dual lane point, yeah, just play it safe unless you're getting ganks.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've noticed, Loiter got plucked and took all of his, about half his health to abilities, and then he just got full healed. This is the power of hell with a Cronus Pendant, you know?
I hate hell in Chronos Pendant, just like... But he has enough abilities, man. Like, she doesn't need cooldown to do more.
Yeah, I mean, this is also another special and character. You can do the Persephone special I talked about in Hell. It's not bad. But I do want to see some defense rushed. Particularly probably a Spirit Robe or a Mantle of Discord is really good.
Their build that I want to hear is, looks like Two Dog trying to snipe away potentially. Buff won't get it and puts a little bit of extra damage on top of Bracken. Look at Goose's build in the solo lane, man. He went Warlocks because he's like, look, I'm going to sit over here, I'm going to stack this item, I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, I don't know about that pickup, but if he makes it work, he makes it work, right? So, Warlocks is just more of a mage solo item, in my opinion.
I mean, Cerberus is basically a mage with that damage, man.
Yeah,
that was
he
crazy.
does the same damage. Yeah,
it's just too much. Too much damage. Left mid's going the way. Up triple mids. Now, they say triple mids is because they picked up 3 mid laners. I think it's because they have mid lane control, right mid control, and left mid control, and there's where your triple mid is at. So you can take your pick on how their name is, but I think it's just because they have really good confirmation of all these mid camps.
Yeah, they've been dominating the neutrals all game in the mid part of the map. And what I've seen is that the Circuit just always has a presence, and they're always splitting that neutral farm. That's what gets you a good lead. Like right now, they're up 500 gold. Even though Bully Busters, again, got first blood. It's because they're splitting that neutral farm so much better than every other player on the side of the Bully Busters.
Really, again, you're exactly right. Controlling those mid camps, Wave being held now on top of Bracken. This is a really good way to get ahead for Two Dog. Just the 2 out for the moment. This is where Two Dog can look to be aggressive. Just force everything. Definitely has a chance. Smack quite this lane. It looks like Excalibur is in the area. Magnetic could look for a gank. Is standing on top of a ward, so he will be alerted to the presence. Bracken looks like he might be trying to bait Magnetic into a fight, especially because it looks like the boys are coming. Eon is on Suku and Loiter right behind him. Bracken still knows they're there. He's still standing on the ward. Magnetic, that is. So Bracken really just doing his best to try to bait everybody in. He's trying to step up now. Really wants to take this trade with Two Dog. Gets the roll out. And this is just such a weird position on the left side of the map. Everyone is just here. Another ward goes down from Let Play. And now it looks like Ares is on their way over. Eon goes straight in. Gets on top of Let Play. Lurks out of the waters here. Bracken going for the snipes. It will not matter. Already will have fallen his ABC to ENIs. And they get the second kill of the game. Still going on the way of the Bully Busters.
Yeah, so I think ABC, I think they just had a miscommunication there because ABC probably should have instantly dashed away at Sobek when the Athena ult started coming in. But I don't think he reacted in time to that Whalish blink, so.
Whalish does drop Gravity Surge on top of it now. Two Dog in a really rough spot trying to step up. Gold Fury did just go, I'm sorry, the Gold Scorpion just go in the way of the Bully Busters, which means that Gold Fury will be spawning relatively soon. Eagle Woman trying to step up and take away the mid camps from the Bully Buster once more. Fury will be spawning really shortly, so we'll have to see how Bully Busters want to play this side of the map. They have had good map presence of their picks. We'll have to see if they can turn it into a Gold Fury.
Yeah, luckily the Bully Busters, even last game when they were losing, they just kind of escalated into the mid to late game because they just took too many losses in the fights. But in the early game, they've been toe to toe relatively. They had I think that Triple Mids had a 2K goal until about the 2K gold lead until about the 15-minute mark, which isn't really bad. That means they're splitting the farm a little bit better than you, but you're staying on top of it.
And you definitely fight into that lead too, especially on objectives. You might be down an item or a part of an item, so really unfortunate. Ares towers will fall, which gives a little bit more gold in the way of triple mids. Extends their gold lead just a little bit more. That tower being down though, Ares is in a really rough spot. If they decide to ult over anymore, they're going to be giving up a lot.
Yeah, it's really hard to give up a tower and fight afterwards because potentially this ult opens up a pyro, which they're doing right now.
Really good objective play from Bully Busters. Doesn't look like anyone on triple mids has any idea that this is happening,
Yeah,
so we'll go pretty freely to the Bully Busters, which brings this lead back pretty much to even. So all this good map play that triple mids were finding of their map farming and all that, it's getting pretty much nilled out because Bully Busters are just playing the map better objectively.
Yeah, no, I really think this game is going to be decided at this first Gold Fury fight. This is going to open up probably a couple maybe one or two T1 towers and some good ward vision on the Fire Giant side of the map for the next Pyromancer, maybe even the next Fire Giant if they beta Fire Giant and win a fight. So this Gold Fury is going to be really important for the game to come.
To see which team really wants to go to it first. I would imagine Bully Busters are going to be the first ones on it just because they've been playing these objectives just so much better than triple mids have here in this early stages of game number 2. I just want to see how triple mids responds. Maybe they're like, hey, we just got that power taken out from under our noses. Let's just go start over to Gold Fury and see what we can start up. You know, we still have a little bit of a gold lead in our favor. It's now equal to pretty much nothing. It's like maybe 5 gold, but they had a little bit. So you got to imagine they want to find something.
Yeah, and for all of you at home watching this, the general rule of thumb when you pull an objective is if you're pulling the objective, you're generally at a disadvantage, so you have to put yourself in an advantage. And last game, the Bully Busters weren't really punishing the triple mids for watching. Like, the Bully Busters just would watch ABC take like a quarter of his health and poke and not just go in. And I really want to see the Bully Busters punish that on this Gold Fury after they get some ward vision on it.
Love to see that happening. Just the extra punishment that they could find is going to help them get ahead in this game compared to last game where they were at. Gold Fury Oracle Vision is in the favor of triple mids, which means no matter what, it won't be sneaking away. Very well, sneaking away. One of the two. Eon plucked in. Suku is going to be able to get them out. Good healing from Satin Hell on the Afro once more to keep their jungler topped off.
Yeah, and this sort of punishment playstyle we're talking about could come really in handy with the Awilish, because Fafnir Hammer is a really big CC. Fafnir Hammer stuns you and slows you after the fact. You got Hell damage, you got Athena taunt. Like, they don't have a lot of like big AoE CC on their team, but if they can CC one target or get a pick, which is what their comp is really meant to do, because if you notice earlier, ABC died because they just blinked on him and killed him. That's the kind of stuff that the Athena Awilish combo can bring you. It's not really a combo, but it's sort of a new combo because they made it like kind of even a cool new meta. I might try and try myself.
Alright, just get the Athena taunt and then have a look score right on top. And you're exactly right, they do play for those picks. And they also have really good disengage. Athena taunt being used. Defender's Olympus will land right now. Ares is in the area. 2Dog trying to find the snipes on top of Bracken. Will connect with 2 of them. The 2 could go off, but it won't be his kill. It'll be Goose's this time. 2Dog will still fall to Eon. So the team is trying to fight. Loiter going up into the Dragon, trying to find some extra damage. Going to go right on top of Eagle Woman. Still's got the backup. Crush will not find a good 2-man taunt from Ares, though. Will find better damage for the moment. Trying to get aggressive. His Bully Buster still dashes in. Good dash out from Eagle Woman. Keep them alive for the moment. Satin Hell will take out ABC. And the Hell healing is still going. Ares very, very low. Beads used out from Eon. Ares is ticking out very, very slowly. Will end up falling. Is Magnetic going to get out? Will get out for the Satin is being chased out by Goose, who is full health still in this fight. Eon running away. Loiter running away. Bracken still in base.
Yeah, I don't know how Goose has one defensive item and he's still alive, but he played that fight really well and got some kills on the back end of it. I don't think this necessarily opens up Gold Fury because Son of 2Dog does not have his Aegis, so he's going to eat the Rama Snipe when he gets it. and Bracking about has his Ramos ult back up. So
We'll have to see how they like to play this gold to the map. Really good fight there. Really shows us how these teams want to fight, how these picks are going to look, as well as how they want to play around the objective. You know, it's like maybe we step up and just try to look for the fight as triple mids, or maybe we just actually want to start pulling the Gold Fury and try to get Bully Busters to come in. A little bit of an overextension is what Let Play is doing right now. We're going to be able to pluck out for the moment. We'll like to say, Sam, that Bracer is upgraded, so that is basically a Sentry Ward now on that Gold Pit.
yeah, I love the Bracer change, man. It made it
So
from
good.
oh yeah, it's like Frenzy, but if you had it constantly.
Did you know Eon was right there for a moment? Because I didn't.
Yeah, cool thing. Scylla loaded into the game, and that's how Leon died. So
Yeah. Chronos Pendant Divine Rune done for the Scylla, doing just enough damage to erase Eon there for 30 seconds. Surprising to go right into the Gold Free, though. They got a pick, and nobody was around.
yeah, I would say though, I don't know why they're not pulling it. Scylla's ahead, and Satin doesn't have the hell special she had, which is Doom Orb, because that just lets you hyper farm the map. But she does have the breastplate, and she's going into pen, so it's going to be really good. And maybe they don't want to go pull it unless like another carry is dead, because it doesn't really matter if Eon's dead if the carries are alive, because they just do so much damage.
T-Dog did get Bracken to dash forward into the wave, and now Magnetic is here being used from Bracken, and the Aegis on top of the Eagle Woman will find a kill in main with a little bit of help from the Goose. Magnetic's just doing so much damage. Really good ult from Loiter here. Will his passive on both Magnetic and T-Dog, but he will be the one that has to jump away. Cannot keep the fight up any longer, especially with that pick happening in mid. Both backline out from Bully Busters.
Yeah, so obviously with both backline down, I would love to see them pull this. But Scylla definitely needs to come over because we're about to have the 1 HP dance from last game. As you notice, ABC is quite low and should probably vacate the premises.
Loiter jumps straight in on top of them. Not going to find enough damage to kill him quite yet. T-Dog into the ultimate trying to find the extra damage. Goose did fall elsewhere on the map during that time. Will not be able to confirm this Gold Fury is triple mid. It'll get reset back to full health.
Yeah, I don't know about pulling it right there, but they got some poke on the Loiter, so I guess that sends them back to base. But they just can't pull the Gold Fury with all of them at a quarter HP. So
really back and forth game too. It's like triple mids is farming really well, but Bully Busters is just playing the map much better than triple mids is here early on in this game, getting kill lead for a little while there up until this recent point, as well as they were controlling the objectives. I think they had 75% of the objectives going in their way if you count Draugr as well.
Yeah, I would say last game the triple mids just got such a big lead, and I think that really changed with like their mid and solo play from the Hell and the Athena right now. They're at every objective and they can contest. And the Bully Busters are just simply team fighting better than they are right now at this stage of the game, even though they still have a lead. So that's what keeps them kind of together in gold and XP.
Exactly right. Looks like Bully Busters are still grouped up and wanting to fight around this Gold Fury. T-Dog steps up any farther, might get paid a visit by Loiter. Looking like they're trying to pick out the ADC for the triple mids. Only been able to run away, not having to use any relics. Is a really good look for them. Goose is here now, so they're able to really bring a little bit more presence to this side of the map for triple mids. Serket's still in the mid lane. Magnetic's going to have to group up here if they want to find this Gold Fury objective. Loiter is now going to be the target and getting plucked in. Just a little bit of damage poke going up on top of them. Nothing too scary quite yet, but Bully Busters are out and triple mids can start up this gold.
I think they can pull this Gold Fury because they do have a level lead in the mid and the Hello, as we see a huge servo onto the Gold Fury.
Beautiful look. Triple mids are going to be able to confirm the Gold Fury. Eon will tick out to the poison. Won't spread it to anybody quite yet. T-Dog going to find the next kill here. Loiter will tick out ABC on the back end of things. Magnetic going his way in. Beads coming out of Bracken. Great crush there from the Scylla. Will give T-Dog a double kill. Add one to his comment. Give him the triple. That's a full-on deicide.
I'd love to see the triple mids run to Fire Giant right now after getting this mid T1 tower. I think it really helped them force the issue, push their leads out of the mid lane and the duo lane.
Yeah, 15 seconds to really anyone can contest. Loiter's up in 5, but by the time he gets there, it'll take a little bit longer. This Fire Giant is going to be free as long as they don't troll it too much and let Goose die.
Yeah, Goose isn't quite tanky, but he can just hop off and Chiron solo will do enough damage as long as they don't take knockout damage like they did right there. But Seraph Proshred is just so good along with Scylla Proshred. And it looks like, you know, I would like to see them back. I don't want to see them pull the Pyro, but it looks like the Bully Busters aren't going to come up, so they can get this really quick because of Scylla ADC damage. So
Rage finished here for 2Dog. Means he's got a little bit of crit online at this point in time. Not heavy crits quite yet that you'd see with a Deathbringer or even a Wind Demon, you know. He's following up right after that. Really doesn't want to do with any of the protections that the Bully Busters build. No Spectrals online for them yet on the Bully Busters side, so I'm not sure if this Kins is just preemptively going it or just saying, I'm just going to build it anyway.
yeah, luckily right now, crit and Kins is just good. And it's not that Kins is good, it's just crit is a really good stat. And especially since he has that third item and, you know, it's hard to build Spectral second, especially in like a Guardian versus Guardian solo lane, because you really don't want Spectral second. And right now, Son of 2Dog is going to be swinging.
Like he hasn't been already, you know.
Yeah, no,
friggin' more.
Like it's going to be really hard for the Bully Busters to win a team fight when Chiron is critting for 400 or 500 on a tank.
That's just never fun as a frontliner, you know, just to be like taking all this damage and getting crit and not having Spectra online. Oh, such a bad spot. Fire Giant though, on the waist of triple mids, will be able to start taking down some of these towers. A lot of the map pressure and presence is in favor of triple mids. All of the T1 towers stand for them, so even if they lose a fight here, Bully Busters have no really good way of coming back in and taking out enough towers to get them a Phoenix open. Really good looking for triple mids to knock down as many towers as they can.
Yeah, I think the triple mids, I would like to see them play this safe, because Hell, even from behind, but she's 4 levels behind, so it might not be as impactful, is really good in a siege environment because she can heal her teammates. But luckily, the triple mids have like the Scylla and the Chiron who can just clear the wave on a siege, and it's going to be really hard for the Bully Busters to even defend T2s. They're going to have to fight at Phoenixes at this point. But luckily, the triple mids should probably just take their gains at, you know, just the towers and stuff, and back and spend their gold and get even bigger.
They back, you know, I'd love to see them just look for this left side. They have plenty of time left on this Fire Giant. Still another minute and a half at least before they're buffed. They might take some aggressive pathing, potentially looking to go in on this Phoenix. I feel like this is a very odd call. Their wave is not going to be anywhere close, still caught in the mid portion of the map, whereas the left side is really up forward. But Goose doesn't care, going straight in, gets the beads off of the Athena, and Loiter is getting blown out of the sky. Transforms, when you land, you are dead, my friend. First kill going to 2Dog. 5 on 4 now for the triple mids. If this goes poorly for Bully Busters, it could be the game. Goose, no blink ult this time, so he'll have to just walk straight in. But this time, it's going to be Let Play who blinks in. Pluck not going to connect, though. Play's trying to take up as much damage as they can. Magnetic in the back line, trying to find some relics. Does get the beads of Aegis off of Satin Hell. Phoenix goes down. Rama Sniper's trying to put down Magnetic, but it won't be enough. He's still trying to get aggressive and smacks down Satin's health bar. 2Dog, though, will find the kill, make him unstoppable. Defender build is coming out. Eon gonna avoid the I'm a Monster for the moment, but the Crush will connect. But you know what? Who's gonna take it? 2Dog. He'll take that next one. 2 kills for him. They're still trying to get more Phoenixes here. They're gonna try to knock down this mid one.
Yeah, I don't think they can end, but I think they can definitely get this mid Phoenix and take. I wouldn't love to see them try. They could end, but it's gonna be really hard to with the Sobek being 1 HP. But they could just. I think they're gonna elect to take all their Phoenixes and just go on it, unless Goose hits another big ult again, which
going in, finding another ult out. Eon gonna jump right on top of him. Goose is now the one in a bad spot, but it doesn't matter because the left side Phoenix is already down. Like a really good one from 2Dog will keep that cleanse on top of Goose for the moment, so he won't get pulled back in even if Eon had ult. I do think he actually CC immuned that ult for him. I think he cleansed the Gravity Surge.
Yeah.
Or Goose, a really good play.
I have been noticing that little microplay from Son of 2Dog onto any god with a leap on his team. He's actually been cleansing some of the ults, and it's really discouraged Eon from ulting unless he can like get the true confirm without the cleanse.
Really good plays by 2Dog on this car. Another god that you probably won't be able to give him going on later stages of the RSL season. Really making a name for himself here early on in the 2 games that he's played. Fire Giant coming up very, very soon, though. Triple mids need to back, spend their gold, and get over here.
Yeah, no ward vision on the Fire Giant currently, so it looks like whatever team's got a bag first and get their wards is going to have their vision. And it looks like the Bully Busters might be able to get their vision.
Wards place, look at that. Dominating the charts of the Bully Busters. You would think Wards win games, but it doesn't look like this one is behind Bully Busters. Fire Giant spawning right now. Power Mancer soon to follow. Looks like Bully Busters are just giving up all the positioning that they had on this Fire Giant, Sam. All three Phoenixes down. I feel like you have to all in on this.
It's going to be really rough to contest the Fire Giant. The only person you can arguably contest is... it's going to have to be the whole team. It can't be any one person. No one.
You're looking at it's like, oh, who's got cooking for him? Satin,
I was looking at the level.
I guess is their best snipe potential if they want to steal it, but Fire Giant started up. And they are shredding it very, very quickly. It's not going to last much longer.
Ooh.
Ender de Lintes in won't make it in time to start stealing it, but Bully Busters will steal it away. Great snipes out from Bracking. But the problem is, Eagle Woman has already found a lot of kills. Ares living for the moment. Looks like Litter might be the next damage, and it will be him falling. Eagle Woman has a double here in this fight. There's only 3 left for the Bully Busters. Titan half health currently. Bracking will fall to Loiter. This is most likely game. I don't know if Ares can completely defend it. Probably game right here, just to minions by itself. They're coming in on the right.
Yeah, this is looking like a GG for the triple mids. A solid 2-0. And that will end our set for today.
What a crazy end, losing to minions at the end, and that's what we were talking about. You have to all in on that last Fire Giant because you have all 3 Phoenixes down. What are you going to do? Give them the Fire Giant and then let them walk down mid lane with 3 waves of fire minions? I really like the call by Bully Busters to go in and take the Fire Giant. They did a really good job stealing it. I mean, they even got it. What happened afterwards was the problem.
Yeah, that was also a problem, but another problem I saw is that on the Phoenix Siege on the right side, they initially didn't have a minion wave. The triple mids didn't. But the Bully Busters were not forcing... They just kind of forced it by just extending too far. The triple mids could not walk in, regardless of their level, without a minion wave. And Goose was just able to ult 2 people and force their relics, and that's what really enabled their team to win. Just get the 2 Phoenixes and get the Fire Giant and then win the game. So they snowballed really hard off that. Sort of, I wouldn't say a misplay. It looked like more of a miscommunication.
Miscommunication ends up letting the Bully Busters fall 0-2 to the triple mids, who've cleaned up a nice little 2-0 set victory. It makes them 1-1 here in the Reap season during week number 2. We're going to go to a short little break, and we might have an interview when we come back. Back, everyone. Oh, sorry, Sam. I jumped the gun on you there. It's okay. All good, all good. I'm Killjoy. This is Sam, of course, talking at the same time. Sam is going to be here with an interview from the one and only Son of Two Dog.
All right, Reap Smite League. Here's some questions for Son of Two Dog, the ADC of the triple mids. Son of Two Dog, what were you thinking when you dashed into 3 people as Cupid game 1? It was really hilarious. But
I was feeling myself a little too much in that spot, but at the end of the day, it was a lot of fun dashing in there. My team was like, "What are you doing?" And it worked out. We got a lot of kills. We ended up snowballing that lead off of that.
Yeah, your team was kind of giving Bracking the treatment, as in he didn't get to play the game. So you guys did really well there. I also noticed game 2, your soul laner, the Goose, built Warlock Sash on a Guardian. I just want to know what was his thinking behind that.
Well, he built Warlock Staff when you're not getting pressured as a soul laner. It's a nice and fun item, and if you're not being punished to build it, you might as well build it. A lot of health, a lot more power. You get to run it down at the enemy team.
Yeah. I think you guys played really well, and I hope to see you win some more sets. That was really fun to cast and really fun to enjoy. Killjoy, how about you send us out, man?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. Congratulations, Two Dog, on your win here tonight in the 2-0 victory over Bully Busters. Of course, Sam hit it already. I hope to see you guys do very well in the future. Thanks for joining us on the desk. As for the rest of you guys here tonight that are joining us on the Reap Smite League, make sure you guys follow. Join the Discord if you want to cast as well. There's always more room for them. Or if you want to play, get on in here. Join our Plat and Below League. If you are Diamond, you are unfortunately not able to play in it, but you're more than welcome to join and get in some of the fun games and in-houses that do go on. But to end it off here was Killjoy alongside Sam Howell, who had a fantastic first cast here in the Reap Smite League. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and have a great night.
That's gonna be doggy out.
Chains too.
That's gonna be our guy.
He smelled him out. And a good Kraken will steal the Oni Fury!
I don't think so.